Hello, welcome to Levant TV Headlines. At least 3 people were killed as mortar rounds bombarded Damascus, Syrian state media said, after rebels threatened retaliation for deadly regime raids on insurgent-held areas. Iraqi Brigadier General Saad Maan says Iraqi Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi has ordered an end to the nightly curfew that has been enforced in Baghdad for years. Al-Qaeda says one of its top militants, Harith al-Nadari, who threatened more attacks on France after the Charlie Hebdo killings, died in a US drone strike in Yemen. Amnesty International has urged Bahrain to restore the citizenship of dozens of dissidents stripped of their nationality in a government decree that handed them the same punishment as suspected jihadists. And Russia is making a push at the United Nations for a new resolution to choke off funding from oil sales, the antiquities trade, and ransom payments to the Islamic State group. Now let's have a look at top headlines in today's newspapers in the Middle East. Starting in the UAE, the Khalij Times leads reporting that Jordan's King Abdullah II has vowed a severe response to the Daesh group after it burned alive a Jordanian fighter pilot captured in Syria. The paper also reports that an Egyptian court sentenced 230 people, including one of the leading activists behind the country's 2011 uprising, to life in prison after finding them guilty of taking part in clashes between protesters and security forces. From Lebanon, the Daily Star reports that municipality workers began removing political signage and party banners in Beirut and Tripoli in line with an agreement reached during dialogue sessions between the Future Movement and Hezbollah to defuse sectarian tensions. The paper also reports that police have arrested 3 Syrian nationals in East Lebanon for forging documents to smuggle refugees into the country. The Egypt Independent leads reporting that Egypt and Turkey maintained their diplomatic standoff, with Ankara denouncing Cairo's sentencing of 183 supporters of its ally, former President Mohamed Morsi, over charges of murdering policemen in 2013. The paper also reports that the Endowments Ministry has decided to distribute a monetary reward of 120 Egyptian pounds to its imams who attended an anti-terrorism protest. Now let's have a look at papers here in London. The Telegraph leads Middle East News reporting that British MPs have said that Britain must prepare to step up airstrikes to oust Islamic State fighters in Iraq and should send a political surge of experts to work on a strategy to defeat the extremists. The MPs added that ministers of defense and defense chiefs currently appear to have no overall plan to deal with the spread of the fanatics other than to follow the United States-led international coalition. The Independent leads Middle East News section reporting that what ISIS expects from women has been revealed more fully in an extensive manifesto on their role, which lambasts the Western modes of thought such as feminism and gives the stark advice that it is legitimate for children to be married to fighters at the age of 9. Western recruits have posted pictures of themselves posing with guns and a suicide belt, with one woman from South London living in Syria even boasting that she wanted to become the first female to behead a Western hostage. Also from London, The Guardian leads Middle East News reporting that Zacarias Moussaoui, who was sentenced to life imprisonment for his role in the 9/11 attacks, has claimed that Al-Qaeda received donations from some of the most senior members of the Saudi Arabia's royal family, even after Osama bin Laden's declaration of war against the US in 1998. In a court deposition this week, the French Algerian extremist also said that he met with a Saudi diplomat posted in Washington to discuss a plan to assassinate the US president using a surface-to-air missile and plotted to bomb the US embassy in London. Now let's have a look at MidEast Headlines international papers. In the International New York Times reports that the United Nations has decided to appoint an independent panel to look into the killing of one of its peacekeepers last week on the restive Israel-Lebanon border. The organization's top official for peacekeeping operations said the board of inquiry is to establish the sequence of events and who is to blame and potentially demand financial compensation. And finally, China's Global Times reports that dozens of overseas students rallied on the Rafah crossing point against years of blockade on the Gaza Strip. The protesters, led by Hamas, waved Palestinian flags and carried banners in both Arabic and English, calling on Egyptian authorities to reopen the crossing point between the two countries. And for more updates, please visit levant.tv. Thanks for watching Press View, and bye for now.